God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, be with you and remain with you now and
Good hands just thank ya. You chose the forces of patty around those quick name and the quick ram over of the
Hi there everyone, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage with another new video. This time a collections video. I've not did one of these for a while because I've not picked up so many collections this year. I had the Big Dundee collection at the start of the year, and since then it's been a little bit slim pickings. However, I got two good ones today. Maybe not quite collections. I got two small bundles today. But you know what they say, sometimes the best things come in small packages, and that was definitely the case today because I got some really good records. Now, the first one I picked up in a little town in Aberdeenshire called Old Meldrum, and the guy it was selling was a record collector himself. For whatever reason, he wanted to move along some of the records from this band, and I was only too happy to pick them up because I'm a big fan of the band, and I got them for a good price as well. So yeah, really pleased with these. I'll give you a little clue as to who the band are. So, one of the great British guitar bands of our time, led by two brothers from working class roots. What else could you say? This band released two absolute seminal albums. Their first two albums are fantastic. Unfortunately, they broke up after another number of albums due to the brothers' fractured and volatile relationship, especially when they were on tour. These boys liked a party and they liked a beer. And alas, the band were no more until recently when they've made a comeback, an absolutely fantastic comeback. They've had a reunion. It is, of course, Jim and William Reid from East Kilbride, the two mainstays of the fabulous Jesus and Mary chain. Who else could it be? Now, I didn't pick this up. This is their new album, Glasgow Eyes, which I've not really got to grips with, if I'm being honest. I'll show you some of the Jesus and Mary chain albums that I did get. So, oh, there's my beer. Picked up a really nice copy of their second album, Darklands, which is my favourite Jesus and Mary chain album. I've already got this, but this is a very nice copy, so it might be an upgrade. But yeah, really pleased to pick this up. Whether I sell it and recoup a bit of money or upgrade my own copy, I don't know, but yes, it's got some belters on here. Darklands, the opening track, is a beauty. Other favourites, April Skies is brilliant. Cherry Came 2 is my favourite Jesus and Mary chain song. For me, this is the Jesus and Mary chain album with the songs on it, with the absolute killer melodies. The first album's got all the fuzz and all the feedback, real, just say, Velvet Underground meets the Ronettes vibe to it, but Jim and William, they didn't want to do another Jesus and Mary chain by numbers album for Darklands. They wanted to change things up, so they stripped away all the feedback, all the distortion, and they let the songs shine through, and they really do on this album. This is an absolute belter, really clean guitar sounds and just amazing melodies. So yeah, this is my favourite of their albums, Darklands. So pleased to pick that up. Picked up from 1988, Jesus and Mary chain, Barbed Wire Kisses. This is a B-sides compilation, so a mix of their B-sides, some cover versions, alternate takes. There's a great acoustic version of Taste of Cindy. At the end, that second side of this is really good. We've also got a nice cover of, where is it? Surfing USA from the Beach Boys. Who Do You Love? It's another great cover as well. But yeah, there's some demos on here as well, and a host of B-sides. So, Barbed Wire Kisses. Great to pick that up because I don't have that. I got their third album proper, Automatic, from 1989. Nice copy of this as well. And a bit of a change in sound to this one. So while the first album, Psycho Candy, is full of fuzz and distortion, the second album's got that clean sound. With this album, the Reed brothers were very influenced by acid house and hip hop on this album. So Jesus and Mary Chain had a kind of revolving cast of drummers. They had Bobby Gillespie, then he went off to Primal Scream. They had a drum machine for Darklands, and I think they continued the drum machine on this one as well, but this is full of synths as well. I don't think there's so much bass on here. There's a lot of synthesizers and drum machines, and yeah, like I said, they were influenced by hip hop by the time they got to Automatic, and I suppose it was the start of the whole baggy scene. But there is still their kind of trademark distorted guitars, some great songs. Head On is a fantastic song. I think it was quite big in the US, the single of Head On. It was a big flop in the UK. Blues from a Gun is a cracking track as well. Halfway to Crazy is fantastic. But yeah, really interesting album. I think this was originally meant to be produced by, I think they approached the Canadian producer, Daniel Lanois, the guy that worked with Dylan and U2. And when he found out that the Reed brothers were wanting to introduce some hip hop influences into the album, he kind of gave them a wide berth. Yeah, this is really cool. All the albums are in lovely condition as well. The lyrics on the back, and they're all on the same label, at Blanco y Negro. Is that how you pronounce that label? Yeah, really cool. I love the Jesus Mary Chain, and yeah, it was a good chance to kind of pick up a good bit of their discography at a bit of a snip, especially if I get rid of Darklands. So yeah, I also got their fourth album, Honey's Dead. And that's probably my favourite cover of any of the Jesus and Mary Chain albums. Love that kind of bleached out cover, looks really, really cool. And some great tracks on here as well. I think this is a little bit more rock and roll, this one. I think there's parts of this album that sound a little bit like the Brian Jonestown Massacre. This one's from '92, so it's yeah. When did the Brian Jonestown Massacre start? About '93 or something, '94. Yeah, there's bits that sound a little bit like the Brian Jonestown Massacre, and then there's parts as well that remind me of, especially the song Frequency, Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers. They kind of steal a few lines from the first Modern Lovers album. Yeah, loads of good stuff on here as well. Reverence is a cracking song. But yeah, this has got a little bit of baggy influence like the previous album as well. Just as I suppose British rock was in that kind of transition period. Baggy was coming to an end in '92, but Britpop hadn't really quite started. I suppose Swede were starting to lead the way with Britpop, but Jesus and Mary Chain, I think, always kind of operated a little bit outside of these kind of styles or these scenes. But yeah, really pleased to pick those albums up. Fantastic stuff. So that was my first little bundle, a little bundle of Jesus and Mary Chain albums, which will be nice additions to the collection. Now, what else did I get? The next one, I went to look at a little collection full of duffers. So probably the type of collection that I go and view the most of, where you go and there's just loads of easy listening and the kind of records that you see in loads and loads of record sales. So Paul Simon, Nana Muscuri, is that what she's called? Just, yeah, like lots of your dross. So it was one of these type of collections, but there was quite a few records there, and I was hopeful that I was going to find a few gems in amongst all the rubbish. And I did. So on one of the pictures that I'd been looking at, when the lady sent me pictures, showed me what she had, this is the one that stood out. So I saw this little bit of writing, and I knew what it was. So behind some other albums, I saw a little bit of this Nancy. And I knew it was the Nancy and Lee album, which I already have. It's an absolute classic album. Most of you will know this. It's brilliant. It's got so many good songs on it. Loads of great covers. It's got You've Lost That Loving Feeling, Some Velvet Morning, Sundown, Sundown, Jackson. A tremendous album. But this is a different cover. I've got the original cover. It's the orange cover with Nancy and Lee on the front, the big kind of portraits of them. But this is a Japanese copy. So when I saw that writing, I thought, yeah, I fancy the Japanese version of Nancy and Lee. So I got these ones all for £2 a pop. And this is quite an expensive album. Probably about, I don't know, 60 or £70 maybe. The only problem is the vinyl's not in great shape, and I bought it for myself anyway, so I'm not too bothered about the cost. But yeah, you can see there, it's the Japanese edition of this album. And it's got pretty much all the same songs, apart from it's got an extra track, Oh Lonesome Me. It's on that Reprise label. And I was lucky as well that it came with the Japanese lyric sheet as well. So yeah, it was a bit of a find, a strange find in Scotland. But the lady who was selling them, she said her husband was really into soul. It was predominantly soul he was into. And she said, oh, I think a lot of the records that he bought were from overseas. So yeah, I was very pleased to pick this one up. I think this is the only Japanese record that I own. Nice thing about it is, even though the vinyl's not in fantastic condition, it still plays really nicely. So yeah, that's a little beauty, that. Next then, probably the cream of the crop in this little bundle was Dusty in Memphis, an album that I've loved for years, and this is a really nice US copy of it, in great condition, this one. So yeah, so many great tracks on here, loads of Jerry Goff and Carole King songs, So Much Lovin', I Can't Make It Alone, No Easy Way Down, then great songs, The Windmills of Your Mind, Son of a Preacher Man. Like, every song on here is an absolute classic. A couple of Randy Newman tracks as well. We've got Breakfast in Bed. Okay, so good. So yeah, this is on Atlantic, and I think they all came with the original inners as well. These really cool Atlantic inners. So yeah, I've had this on CD for years, since it was probably in my early 20s. But nice to pick up a nice US pressing, an early US press. I've not checked exactly which one it is, and really the cover especially is in lovely condition. It just has that punch hole. You can see it up there, the top right. But yeah, very pleased to pick up Dusty in Memphis, a real favourite of mine, that one. How annoying is it when your phone runs out of storage? I had to stop that there. Anyway, this has been my favourite of this little bundle, the second bundle I picked up. This is Love Child by Diana Ross and the Supremes. This is just an absolute belter on Motown. I think it's from 68. It's either 68 or 69. But this is again another US pressing on this kind of heavy cardboard sleeve. But it's just a beauty of an album, this. I've been playing this all day, and it is so good. So many great tracks on here. I'll Set You Free is my favourite one. The end of side 2, Can't Shake It Loose, is a beauty. Love Child, the opening track. Honeybee, Keep On Stinging Me is brilliant as well. But everything on here is just tremendous. The biggest problem with this album is it's just too short. So it just goes by in a flash. It's amazing. Again, not in the best condition, but it just sounds perfect. It doesn't look the best. One of these really cool Motown inners. Great stuff. I'll show you that label. This needs a good clean because it's mega dirty. Mega dirty, and it still sounds brilliant. I don't imagine how good it will sound once it's been given a bit of a clean up. Because yeah, I just had this pretty much on repeat. I was just playing it over and over today. It's so good. So I think that'll be my thing for next year. I've bought so many psych records this year that next year I think it'll be soul. I'm gonna bump up my soul collection and go after some of my favourites. But yeah, this is brilliant. Really, really enjoyed this today, and I'm going to spin it again before bed. So, and finally, last one is this TCB, the original soundtrack from TCB, starring Diana Ross and the Supremes and the Temptations. And I'm a little bit disappointed with this, I've got to say. It's like a kind of television special. I wasn't familiar with this album. It's a bit disappointing, but what's not disappointing are those Temptations suits. Check those out. Definitely fancy getting one of those to wear while doing the channel, or maybe one of these gowns. They're pretty special as well, but I think maybe one of the suits. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. It's a bit of a thin sound. I think I suppose it is live. I think, but there's like kind of cheesy chat in between the songs as they introduce one another, and it sounds like a pure old style television special. But there's not enough bass in the songs. They sound kind of too tinny, and the track list's amazing as well. Stop in the Name of Love, You Keep Me Hanging On, Get Ready, Taste of Honey, Eleanor Rigby, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, Mrs. Robinson, Respect, Somewhere, Ain't Too Proud to Beg's one of my favourite songs. What If Once for Once in My Life, Baby Love. It's amazing. I Hear a Symphony is one of my favourite Supreme songs. Probably is my favourite Supreme song. So there's like tons of great songs on here, but I don't know, it just lacks punch, I think. And I don't think it's just the press, I think it's the recording. Check these dudes. So yeah, I like the album cover and all that, but the music itself could have been better. I don't know if it's maybe just the pressing, but I don't think so. But anyway, that was the last one in that little bundle of soul records. But don't want to finish on a bad note. I'm just going to show that again. I've been loving this today. It's an album that I hadn't heard before, and there was the previous album as well. I can't remember what it's called, from '67. I could have picked that up as well, but it was just too beat. But now I'm thinking I maybe should have. In fact, is it on the back here? Oh, in fact, that one was there as well. Diana Ross, The Temptations. Oh, yeah, no, I'm happy with this. It was it's a cracking wee buy for £2, along with the Nancy and Lee and the Dusty Memphis albums. So yeah, good stuff. Cheap heat, but good cheap heat. And I've got another record collection to pick up in October, and this one is an absolute beauty. I've been corresponding with the lady, and I'll be picking it up. Mid-October, and it is absolutely fantastic. Not a massive collection, but everything there's killer. And provided the condition's good, it'll be an absolute beauty. I'm really, really excited to be picking up these records in October. Looking forward to that one. So until then, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye for now.